Hey guys, this is Eve, Scrapbooking with me, and we promised to do this last week so it would be in time for Father's Day, but as some of you know, we had a little bit of a tragedy around here last week. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you'll know what I'm talking about. But all of my family is fine, so everything worked out great. It was someone else, so we'll just put it that way and leave it. But anyway, this is the Stamp and Die from Altenew, and it is the Happy Father's Day. I think that's the name of it. Best Dad Die and Stamp Set. So we're going to do a Father's Day toolbox card out of this today. Okay, so first we're going to stamp this tool. I guess it's a little tool chest right here. We're going to stamp that first. And I'm going to use some Memento ink, Tuxedo Black, because I'm going to try to color it just a little bit. I'm not going to do a lot of coloring and shading and that kind of thing, but I'm going to try to color it up a little. And hopefully I can get it with this. If I can't, I'll have to put it in my Misty. And I'm just using some Nina white cardstock. So let's see if that's going to stamp pretty good for us. Oh yeah, that's fine. No problem there. And now I'm going to use these keys. I'm going to stamp them. I'm just going to stamp some various products off of here. Of course, it wouldn't be me unless I got ink on my finger. Let's see. I think we can put this right here. I'm going to put it on up here because when I put my dies on there, I want to have plenty of room to cut them out. So we're going to stamp that one right there. Okay, that's good. Alright, let's see what else we want to stamp. I want to stamp this tape measure because I don't think my husband could do anything without a tape measure. That is one of the staples in his toolbox, is a tape measure. So let's stamp that. I'm going to wipe that off right there. So we're going to put that right about there. I like to leave my stamp sitting on my cardstock for a little while so that it'll soak into the cardstock. A lot of times if you just stamp down and raise it right back up, it doesn't have time to transfer over, especially on a heavier cardstock like this Nina. So give it just a minute to let it transfer. Okay, what else we want to stamp? Oh, I think we'll stamp this tool right here. I don't know what. I guess this is a mallet. Stamp this. Now what we're going to do is take our dies and we'll take our magnetic plate, and then this. What we're going to do is we're going to put this on here, and then we'll put our dies right there on top of it. And these dies are set to where it cuts a little bit of white out from around it. So just get it centered the best you can on there and it will work great. Alright, the keys. I think this is the keys. I do believe. Nope. Here's the keys. Put the keys here. See, when you're putting it on that magnetic plate, it just grabs right down. So I like to have it like this so I don't have to tape everything. Okay, so let's put our other plate on top of this. And then we'll run it through. Okay, I'm going to set this down and look and make sure that I didn't slide anything, which I did. I slid my keys. So we're going to straighten them back out. And then put our plate on top very carefully and put it through. And you could always tape these down if you don't have a magnetic plate. Just tape them. Put a little bit of washi tape or something on there. It'll be fine. Okay. Their dies cut so good. If it didn't cut well, it's just because I didn't put it on there very well. Okay, so I got my tools colored, and like I said, I didn't do a lot of coloring. I just kind of made a little bit of red on each one of them to make them match, and that's all I did. But now we're going to cut out this little sentiment and just glue it right there. And I thought I was filming when I was coloring, but I wasn't. I had not turned the camera on for some reason. I don't know. I'm losing it. So we're just going to cut this out. And you could have stamped it directly on there, but I didn't want to take the chance on stamping it on there and messing up after I'd already colored it, and having to stamp another. So I just stamped it this way and cut it out, and we will put it right there. And nobody will be the wiser. Okay. So we're going to use our art glitter glue. Whoops. And I can't hold on to it. Put a little bit on the back, and then we'll just put it down somewhere close to the center. Okay, and now you're going to need, in order to make the box part, or the toolbox, you're going to need a piece of paper that is 11 inches by 8.5 inches. And you're going to put it on the 11-inch side, and you're going to score at 2.5. Oops. At 2.5. At 4, at 7, and at 8.5. Then you're going to turn it one turn, and you're going to score at 1.5 and at 7. Okay, so you can put your scoreboard away because that's all the scoring you're going to do. Go ahead and fold and burnish on all of your score lines. Now, we're going to take our scissors, and on each side of each end, there's 2 blocks. One of them is a little bit longer than the other one, but we're going to cut all the way down this score line to that second score line that goes across right there. There's the first one, there's the second one. So you're going to cut all the way down. And cut as straight as you can, because this is going to be important. Now, you want to cut off this first block right here, not the second one. You're going to leave the second one, just cut the first one off. So, just like that. Just see, here's your first one cut off. And then you'll go to the other side and do the same thing all the way around. Cut straight down that score line. And then you want to cut off this first tab right here. Now save these tabs because we're going to use them in a minute. So save those. Turn it to the other end and do the same thing. Okay, now this is what you have. Now what you want to do is take this first score line right here and just fold that back and give it a burnish. So see, I just took that one and folded it back on itself to give it a burnish. And then do the same thing on this side. Just fold it in. Make sure that they meet in the middle. If they don't meet, then go ahead and adjust it now. Then just give it a burnish. So then you have something that kind of looks like this. Okay, these tabs are going to fold up to make this box. But before we do that, what you need to do is take your ruler, and on this end right here between these 2 score lines, you need to find the center of that, and I'm going to use my 10 volts ruler, and my center is right there. If you notice, I put my 0 in there, and then I look on each side, and I've got 1.5 inches on each side, so I know that that's my center right there. Make a little mark, flip it around, and do the same thing on the other side. So there we go. See, my 1.5 is right there, and my 1.5 is right there. So I know that's my center. Now you're going to take your scoring tool and put it where these score lines cross right here. Put your scoring tool there, and then put the ruler down and put the other end right at that mark that you made, and then you're just going to score. So that's what you've got. That's where you've scored. And then just do the same thing on the other end. Okay, now go back to your tabs that you cut and just cut a little bit of a sliver off of that tab. Just about the width of that score line that you made there. You just want it to be, just have a little bit cut off so that all of these will fold better. Not a big amount, just a tiny bit. I'm just basically cutting off that little hump in that score line is what I'm doing. It just gives a better fold when you start putting the box together. And sometimes I can't even cut that off. There we go. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bring these around to the back, and they're actually going to go on the, what we will call the outside, but they're going to be hidden, so don't worry about that. So you're going to put your glue, your score tape, your regular tape, whatever you want, you're going to put it on the inside like this on all 4 of them. Okay, and then this is going to fold around, and I just hold it up like that in my hand and just put it on there. Just make sure that it doesn't go over that score line. Just kind of line it up. Then go to your other side and do the same thing. Press them down, and then you're ready to do the other end. Now what you want to do is on these ends, just pull them in and make sure the score lines are falling in the right place, and press it down. That's what you're going to have right there. Go ahead and use your bone folder to kind of reinforce all of that. There we go. So when he opens it up, that's going to be his toolbox in there. But we're going to make something else. Go back and take those little tabs that you cut off. I'm going to make sure they're nice and even. So I'm going to put them together and just trim them if there's any little bit that needs to be trimmed where I didn't cut straight or something. Alright. Then we're going to take our ruler again. And what you want to do is come in 1/2 inch on 3 sides and just mark it. Mark it lightly with your pencil. So there's 1/2 inch. There's 1/2 inch. And there's one. Whoops. That would have been if I hadn't have messed it up. There's 1/2 inch. So then what you're going to do is take your scissors and you're going to trim this out. Okay, so that's what you've got so far. Then on these little corners up here, you want to take your scissors and just do a little, just cut off that little point. Just like that. Now doesn't that look like a toolbox handle? I think so. So we're going to use these right here, but we're going to cover this with some white paper first. So now all you need to do is lay this one on top of this, and then just trim that one out. You don't have to mark it again. Just trim it out that way. There we go. There are our 2 handles. So let's lay that aside for a moment. So you're going to take 2 pieces of cardstock, and it can be design paper, whatever color you want. I'm going to use white because I'm going to stamp on it. You need these 2 1/4 by 5 1/4, and what they're going to do is they're going to go right here, but I'm going to stamp on mine first. I'm going to use the stamp that says Happy Father's Day, and then I'm going to use the Best Dad mug. So I'm going to stamp those first before I try to put that on there. So now we can put this handle same place as we got that handle on that side. So we're going to put a little glue on the back side of it and close that down, and just make sure that we stick it about the same. So there we go, we've got those on there, and now I want to put a little brad or something right there. And I'm going to use some of these little, they're brads or bling, but I can't get them anymore, and I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I'm going to use those. They stop making things just when we get used to using them. That's the problem. Okay, so there that is. And now all we have to do is open this up and we'll put our tools in there. So let's just lay our tools in there. And you can glue these down any way that you want. I'm probably just going to lay mine down in there. I don't know, I might glue them later. So if you want to glue these down, you can. You can just glue them to the bottom. Or if you want them to just lay in there, you can lay them in there. I'm just going to lay mine in there. I think it's cute. I'm not going to worry about it. So there we go. Got our tools. And then you could put him a gift card or something in there too. So in order to close this, to keep it closed so that our little tools and things don't fall out, I took a piece of paper that is 1 inch by 2 inches, and I scored it in the center, and then we're just going to fold it up. Looks like I cut a little crooked, so I'm going to trim that off. And then we're just going to put some glue in the center and glue it together. And you can cut some little corners on the ends if you want to. I'm going to cut just a little touch off the corners, as you can see. So that's how I cut, just a little bit on the corners. And then I'm going to take a couple of these little Velcro pieces. I'm going to glue this side down, and then I'm going to mark about where my center is. That looks about right there. And I'm going to glue this side down. So we're going to put some glue on that. So glue that down right there. I'm going to hold it for a minute. And then on this end, we're going to put a Velcro dot. And that's going to hold it down. I love these little Velcro dots. These come from Walmart. They're not something that we carry, but you can get them from Walmart really, really inexpensive. And they're tiny, so they're good to go. They're so little that I can't even tell which side is what, usually. Okay, so we're going to press that down. There we go. That's going to hold it. But we're going to put this key on here anyway to make it look like that key's what's holding it. So I'm going to use, let's see what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a glue dot, I think. Maybe a couple. They're clear, so they're not going to show. Put a couple of glue dots behind there. And then I'm just going to lay that key right there to make it look like that's what's holding it together. Okay guys, that is it. That is our card. And for him to open it up, just pull on the Velcro. And there's all of his little tools. And like I said, if you want to glue these down so they'll stay in one place, that is great. Put him a card in there, some money, a gift card, some money or whatever, and that is your card. And it's something that, you know, most dads have. It's a toolbox. Okay, I have one of these stamp and die sets left. Is all I have in stock. If you want it, I will leave a link below and you go over and grab it and I'll mail it out this afternoon or first thing in the morning, and you'll have it in time to make you a Father's Day card with it. If someone is desperate and there's a second person and you want this one, the one that I have demoed, it's nothing in the world wrong with it. The stamps have a little bit of color on them, but that is nothing. It's not going to hurt them at all. It conditions them, if anything. But if you want this set, if you're desperate and want this set, I will sell you this set for 25% off if you want it. I will list this one on the website as well as a demo set. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to go over and click that little bell so that you'll be notified when we put up new videos. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.